Today we'll be making a high waist trouser, and we do only cutting for now. So what you need, you fold your fabric into two. So after folding your fabric into two, you measure the length of what you want. So but before you measure the length, you measure your folding allowance. So let's say the folding allowance is 2 inches. You can use 2 inches for your folding allowance or your hemi allowance, depending on what you call it. So you measure your hemi allowance. I'm using 2 inches here, but if you want to be on the safer side, especially for clients that you didn't measure them, you can use 4 inches for your folding allowance. So after measuring your folding allowance or your hemi allowance, the next thing you will be needing is your trouser length. So you'll be needing your trouser length. So the trouser length I'm working with is 42 inches. So that 42 inches, you can add to the length if you want, but if you are very sure of what you measured, you leave it like that. So the trouser length of 42, then we'll be taking out 2 inches for our band. 2 inches for the band. So you are going to remove the 2 inches, you minus the 2 inches, then you place it on that line that will mark and get your trouser length. So after getting your trouser length, so the length I'm working with is 42 inches. Like I said, if you want to be on the safer side, you can add to it, but if you know you are sure of what you measure, you leave it that way. So you measure the length of what you want. So my trouser length is 42 inches. So after measuring the 42 inches, the next thing we are going to do now is to get our crotch line measurement. So the crotch line measurement is, we are going to be using the hip line. You will measure your waist to your hip line. So the hip line I will be using is 10 inches. That is my hip line. So I'm going to measure that 10 inches here. So after measuring, you get your lap line. We'll be using 4 inches for it. You get your hip line 10 inches, then you measure your flap line 4 inches. I don't know if you understand. So that is how we are going to get, this will now serve as our crotch line. So you measure your hip line, then from your hip line you use 4 inches to get your flap line. That is where your lap line, that is where you'll be inserting your lap measurement. It's very, very simple. While there are some people that their hip line is 9 inches, some are 11 inches, depending on the person you are making the dress for. So you get your hip line, then you measure 4 inches for your lap line. So this is now our flap measurement. So the next thing we will do is to insert our hip measurement and waist measurement. So what we will need first is to use our hip measurement, and the hip I'm working with is 50 inches. So 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So we'll insert that 12.5. We will not be adding any allowance to it because this one is the front part of the trouser. So you use the 12.5 to measure it, then you use it for the hip line and the lap line, then you use it for the waistline as well. So you measure 12.5 from the waistline to the lap line. So after doing this now, the next thing we will do now is to insert your lap measurements, and the lap measurement I'm working with is 31. 31 divided by 2 is 15.5. So you insert your 15.5 there. So after doing that now, you are going to curve your flap. So you just curve it from that your lap measurement, like C. You draw it like C. So that's it. Then the next thing you do is to shaping the waist. So the waist is 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. So you insert your 10.5 at the waistline. So this is how you are going to achieve this. But if you are going to be adding that to the waist, you can add 1 inches to it, which is 10.5 plus 1 inches. That should be 11.5, if I'm not mistaken. So what you do next now is to shaping the down part. So for the side, we'll be using 2 inches to shaping it. That's for the side. We're using 2 inches to shaping it. So we'll be using 2 inches to shaping the side, so that it will have shape at the side. So you measure 2 inches from the down, then you draw it to connect with the lap line. So from there you insert your bottom measurement. The bottom I'm working with is 9, which is 18. So if you are making a free trouser, you can just leave the bottom the way it is, or you can, depending on what you want, you just insert it, then you curve it like this. So if it's too curved, you can reshaping it to your desired taste of or how you want it. So we are finished marking it, and the next thing is to cut it out. So after cutting it out, you use it to get the back. So don't forget to like our video and also to subscribe, so that you'll be notified whenever we upload a new video. And to all our returning subscribers, may God bless you all, and to our new subscribers, may God bless you all as well. Thank you very much. So after cutting it out now, you place it and use it to cut the back. So I finished cutting it out. This is how the front part is now. So you use it now to cut the back. So you are going to fold your fabric into 2, just as you folded the first and the front part. Fold it into 2. So after folding it, you place the front on it. So you place the front on your folded fabric. So the only difference is that we are going to be adding allowance to the back. Then don't forget that your back side is bigger than the front side, because at the back, that is where you have your bum, you have your so everything is at the back. So all the excess, the extra is at the back. So what we are going to be doing now is to, for the sides, we'll be adding 2 inches at the down part, while the lap line will be adding 3 inches as the lap line. So you are going to be extending that lap line by 3 inches. Then after 3 inches, you mark 2 inches all through. So 2 inches down to the bottom line, 2 inches. It's only at the lap line you'll be extending it by 3 inches. Then for the back side, that's for the bum area, what you do, you are going to be adding extra, so that after sewing you can still shaping the trouser just as they used to shaping skirt. So you add extra, you add excess. So I'll be adding 3.5 to mine. You can add 2 inches depending on you, but I'll be adding 3.5 to be on the safer side, because if the hip is too tight, I can be able to free it. If the hip is too big, I can be able to hold it. So that is the reason why I always add extra to the back side of my trouser. So after doing that, you shaping the side just as you have shaping the front side before. So that is all for our high waist trouser. Then after sewing, you can cut your waistband. You can use 4.5 for the wideness, then you measure the waist, the round waist. So if maybe you are using an elastic or you are using a rope, so you are going to shape it to your desired waist measurement that you need. So that is all for our trouser tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate and I love you. Bye.